Are you on a permanent lose streak? Are you tired of getting blamed? It's always the roamer's fault, right? No! The roamer's #1 job is providing information. Where is the enemy? Where are they going? And did they use flicker? In early game, you have these 4 options. Help the jungler clear the buff if you're playing a roam with high early game damage like these heroes. If your jungler is a weak early game hero like one of these junglers, there is a high chance he will get invaded, then it's your job to zone away the enemy. Forcing the enemy to use retribution is a crucial part of roaming. This will give your jungler a chance to invade without having to worry about winning a retry battle. Help the mage clear mid. You always want to start out with giving vision in one of the side bushes. This is how most of your roam games typically start. When it comes to ganks, make sure you rotate with the mage and prioritize the gold lane. Don't babysit the marksman, but if he is having a hard time, you can stay in gold lane for a little bit. Just make sure you rotate when the turtle is up or the jungler needs your help.
Huh? How does that feel, huh?
In turtle fights, you want to time your CC skill and stun the enemy jungler when the turtle is low HP. Notice how I'm giving vision and at the same time focusing on the enemy jungler. Unfortunately, Fanny got hooked.
Stop, bro, I'm stuck!
Notice how I'm walking in front of the jungler and securing the area. It's important to give vision for your team, but it's also important to give vision on the enemies. That's called map control. In this clip, I am deep on the enemy side of the map to let my team know where the enemies are. Just make sure you have a way to escape. Now my team knows that 3 heroes are on the red side of the map.
I'm white.
I'm black. I'm yellow.
I'm a fidget spinner.
Camping is more than just sitting in a bush. It's all about finding the right bush, especially if you're playing a roamer that makes sets. A good roam is always one step ahead of the enemy, quickly understands how they rotate and ambush accordingly. Let me give you some examples of being one step ahead. Their jungler was clearing the mid lane, and I noticed he hadn't gotten his red buff yet. That's why I calculated the time it would take for him to get there. I also predicted that he would pull his buff into the bush.
Albert Einstein! Dude, you're Albert Einstein!
Beatrix was visible on the map. The enemy might try to ambush her. By sitting in this bush, I am ready to respond if they try. Beatrix didn't see me, but I noticed her. I used conceal so she wouldn't see me running into the bush. I was 99% sure she would come here. There are 3 enemies in the bottom lane. I went to camp in this bush instead of this one, because there is a high chance Selena will put a trap in the other bush to give vision. The enemies just came from the top lane. That's why I'm waiting in this bush. Notice how I'm ignoring the XP laner and going straight for the jungler so he can't steal the turtle. The enemies just took a turret in the top lane. Our inner turret has protection, so they probably won't continue pushing. If they're gonna rotate to mid, they have these 2 options. A smart player would just have recalled, but not all players think about the risk. That's why we're camping in this bush, hoping they make a mistake. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like, so it will be recommended to all the inexperienced roamers out there. You never know, they could be your future teammates. As roamer, you should try to annoy the jungler as much as possible, whenever you have the chance.
Easy!
Be patient when engaging a team fight and wait for the right moment. Always check if your allies has their ultimate available before you engage. Go for their marksman whenever you see the opportunity, but if he isn't nearby, any squishy hero should be your prime target. You should never focus the tank, but if he is out of position and you have backup, don't hesitate to kill him.
Fight back! Fight back!
Sometimes your team don't notice when you engage. That's why it's important to use pings.
What the dog doing?
If your teammate recalled and is late to their lane, you should hold the minions so they don't get behind. If an enemy is low HP under tower, take a few hits from the turret while keeping your distance from the enemy. That way your team can tower dive without worrying. Pretending like you're gonna retreat will make enemies think you don't have ultimate. Use this to catch them off guard. When you don't know what to do, be where you're most needed, never be alone. Protect your team and save them if you can. It's okay that you die if you manage to save them, but don't try to save someone who is 100% dead. Pay very close attention to the minimap. It is your strongest weapon. It's important to support your jungler when he is invading. If your jungler is doing the turtle or lord, these 3 bushes are important to check. After you've recalled, look at the map to see who needs your help. Maybe our jungle is trying to contest the turtle, or there are 3 enemies pressuring the gold lane, or the mage could need your vision to rotate. If your ADC keeps feeding and engage in bad fights even when you're with them, you're usually better off playing around the jungler or mage. That's called estimating the win condition. Of course, everyone makes mistakes and have bad games, but if you don't see this player being able to carry or stay alive, helping the jungler can be more beneficial. Remember, kills are not your priority. If you kill an enemy but die in the process, it's a bad trade since you give the enemy assist gold. Also, getting a kill as the roamer doesn't benefit the team. A lot of players are using the recommended builds, but learning to build depending on the enemy team will make you improve significantly. Because there is so much information in this 7-minute video, I recommend watching it a few times to memorize all the things we talked about, or perhaps writing it down. The more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war.